All right, so anytime you see a biopsy, anytime you hear any medical person talking about biopsy, they want to take part of a tissue, then send it to the lab so that the laboratories, okay, the laboratory, workers can actually check if there's any abnormality with that tissue. So for the endometrium, which is this part, it's kind of like the meat in what? Inside the uterus. If I'm actually cutting part of the endometrium to send to the lab, most of the times maybe I'm suspecting for like if there's a risk for cancer, So it's just a minimal invasive procedure. You collect some small tissues from the lining of the uterus. Now, the lining of the uterus is what we call the endometrium. This one, okay? Anything here, anything up is the endometrium. So if I'm collecting tissues from any part of this, sending to the lab is endometrial biopsy. So this sample is usually examined under the microscope, all right? And primarily, you want to actually dictate if there's any abnormal cells. So why is it done? It might be done if the woman is having so much bleeding from the uterus. If there's a thickened endometrial lining seen on the ultrasound, so you want to actually see what is wrong. If the person is infertile, okay, because the endometrium is like the soil where a child will implant. You want to monitor hormone therapy. You want to screen if the person has a risk of developing endometrial cancer. All right. So how is it performed? Usually in the doctor's office, usually without anesthesia. So a thin suction tube is what? Inserted through the cervix. Okay, that's a tube. A sample of the tissue is gently collected. Just between 5 to 15 minutes, you are done. Okay. So risks and side effects is rare, but sometimes little bleeding, risks of infection, then uterine perforation. Very rare though, if not done correctly. Okay. So these are just interpretation of results, which is not really needed in this context. Okay. So that's just what endometrial biopsy is.